Am I ready to get this thing started? Let's go. NFC North football talk. It's Friday. Friday. Been working all week. It's Friday. It's Friday. Been working all week on a Friday. Can't wait to get out for the weekend. Good morning, Calvin. Good morning, Jeff. I will get to you in a minute. Let me get this thing started, Jeremy B. We'll get you in. Bear Down Mike is in the comments. What is going on? Whoop. Woo! There's that link. I'm bringing you in right away, though. I got to get this thing started. Oh, gosh, I love that. I love that touchdown catch by Penei Sewell. Welcome, one. Welcome, all. It's the NFC North Talk with me, your host, Russell Wayne. It's Friday night.
You like that?
Friday.
You like that?
Friday.
You like that?
I love that. I love that it is Friday. And if you've been out there working all week, you've been waiting for this weekend, right? It's going to be beautiful, right? Are we done? Are we done with all this bad weather, hail, getting all over the place right here? Darcy Manville from the Canada been throwing down all that bad air. But we ain't going to be too hard on them right here. But welcome one, welcome all to the NFC North open mic. We are broadcasting live into the Detroit Lion News. Let me get these little things up there. The Detroit Lion News. And right here, we just got over 1,000 people, man. Thank you so much for helping us build this thing up over the last 2 months. We lost our page right in the middle of summertime. And wow, thank you guys for following the Detroit Lion Villain Squad, the new main event page. God bless you for that, man. We thought we were kind of dead in the water, and it just kind of worked out right there. Yeah, Mike the Bear fan. If you like bears and you like the Bears, then Mike the Bear fan is your guy right there. He does House Hall Report every Wednesday, every Sunday, doing that thing right there. And obviously, Bill the Packer fan. The Frozen Tundra is doing their show tonight, and they do a little bit of an open mic type of thing for everybody if you want to pop on to that. So here we are in the lull of the off season. We're getting into training camp a little bit, and there's been some things that have happened that maybe not necessarily the NFC North thing, but this guy, whenever you see this guy's face, it does something to you, right? It's doing something to you right now. You're looking at, look at that face. Look at that face. You either hate that face or you love that face, or you want to punch that face. One way or another, Aaron Rodgers is making news. He takes a pay cut to stay in New York, something that he never did with the Green Bay Packers. Does that chap your ass? If you're a Green Bay Packer fan, does it really kind of chap your ass a little bit that Aaron Rodgers is going and helping out this other team when he could have did that a couple years ago? Instead, he wants $50 million a year, and then he goes there and plays for 37. I mean, what is that all about? Barry from Scotland. Go, Pack, go. It was so nice having you on the show yesterday, given this other take, and that's kind of what brought me into this right here. And I also kind of want to know how, who is standing out in the training camps. Are the Lions paper champs? I mean, they look really, really good on paper, right? And but that's what I keep on hearing from people, that the Lions are paper champs, that we can't get too much. But let's go ahead and get into it. We got Jeremy Balbrick. What's going on, brother? Yeah.
Well, let's see. What I saw when I saw that was a guy that sells stolen catalytic converters to recycling centers, is when I looked at that face. Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, are you talking about this face that I put up a little bit? Let me bring this face back up there, because it does something to you. He stole your Cadillac converters? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's what he reminds me of. He looks like a guy that stands near the recycling center returning stolen catalytic converters.
I love it. Well, speaking of green, I don't like the color green, but I do like the color green as it pertains to my gig. And this is something that's way out there, but I do a little bit of jamming. And if you're in the Flint area tonight, I do a weekly show that ends in a country night, but I play there from 6 until 9 o'clock. And if you're in the Genesee County area, I would love to see you out there. Good food, good stuff right there. And yeah, there's an old little shameless plug right there for my musicianship. But we're in this training camp, man. There's some people that are standing out. Like, since you're a Lion fan, we'll get into some of this Lions talk right here. Your boy, Antoine Green. You know how I hate touting second or seventh round draft picks, right?
Yep, but when they're taking first and second team reps now, that means that they've supplanted a lot of people who performed already on this roster.
Barry says, LMAO, do you do song requests? I try to do.
Absolutely.
If I play it, I'll play it if I
and
know
that's
it.
an open mic night. That means, like, a guy like me, if I want to get up there and sing, if they know the song, I can sing it.
No. Open mic is on Monday night, my brother.
No, I thought that was an open mic with you.
Oh, hell no. No.
You don't do that?
We don't do that. I may if main event Mike comes out, I'll let him. There's certain people I'll allow to sing on my stage, but I also like to keep my gigs. I have to keep my gigs.
I'll send you some recordings
of
me.
Oh, you want to sing?
Oh, I've been a singer. I've won money singing.
Right on. Ah, wow. Bear down Mike, Lions, Bears, Packers all look like paper champs. Time to see if the Lions are legit, not just a 1 year thing. Bears is Justin, our franchise. Packers is Love, the guy to build on. So
Great point. I want to. Yeah, I love it.
go ahead.
I mean, think about it. Everybody looks improved. The only team that looks like they devalued themselves is the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC North.
You like that?
Yeah, we love that.
We love that
as Bears, Lions, and Packers fans. We love the fact that the Vikings are probably taking a backseat. That defense isn't going to win you any close games.
Okay, so Trent says that go Pack, go back to the bottom of the division where you belong. You think you're going to come in and beat the Lions this year with your roster? Do you believe that?
No. Is he actually a Packer fan?
Well, he says go Pack, go. I don't know anybody that
I think he's telling the Packers to go back to the bottom of the division where they belong because they sat there for 20 years before they became relevant.
Okay, I'm reading the sarcasm now. Okay, sometimes it's hard to read sarcasm, so I'm looking at. So let's read it in the correct way. Go Pack, go back to the bottom of the division where you belong. I'm sorry, Trent. I'm sorry that I misconstrued.
Oh, wait, that is a green hat on his avatar. He might be a Packer fan, but I like the way I said it and you said it better.
Right. So that's how I'll read that. Trent, I hope that you're a Packer fan because this is exactly how it should read. Go Pack, go back to the division where you belong.
Yeah.
You're going to go to the bottom of the division. I don't know about that. I think the Minnesota Vikings.
You like that?
I think that you guys are the champs that were kind of like, it's not going to be there this year. You ain't going to win all of those 1-score games this year. You guys didn't get better. The rest of the team got better around you. I really do believe the Vikings will go 0-6 in this division. And that isn't even saying anything. Stephen Van Ness, ass kissers. Okay, let's see. I just left the Jets podcast and a lot of ass kissers on there. There's a problem that there was a Packer fan in there downing the Packers. If you believed in Rodgers, you should be downing the Packers. Like, yeah, I know that if you're a Packer fan, you believe in your team, just like, when Jared Goff came to Detroit. We want to believe in the team. You want to believe that you got a right guy, right? And now you want to believe that you have the right guy in Jordan Love, but like Jordan Love has nothing. He's never done anything. And you guys want to rest your head on a couple second half performances where he came in against prevent defenses and try to compare him to like Jalen Hurts or something like that. I think that you're going to be disappointed. Aaron Rodgers was a Hall of Fame quarterback. And last year with 41 drops, I mean, do you think if they didn't drop so many balls that you wouldn't have been in the playoffs? You want to blame all of that on Rodgers now that he's gone? I mean, that's a popular thing that happens.
And the 27th scoring defense, only a half a point better than the Lions.
Yeah, they tout a good defense. And Bill, the Packer fan, is going to come on here, and I'll make him testify to this. But you got all these first-round draft picks on defense, and your defense was the 21st ranked defense. Now, granted, it did get better by the end of the year. I mean, we can say the same thing. We had the 31st ranked defense or the 30th ranked, somewhere in there.
We were 28th.
Okay, 28th in total 28th
defense. In scoring. I'm talking about scoring defense. We moved up from 32nd to 28th. The Packers fell from top 10 the year before to 27th.
We were the 32nd ranked passing defense last year.
I'm talking about scoring because everybody's saying that our defense was so horrible, but we got out of the cellar.
Our defense was horrible, Jeremy. Like, we can't.
For the first 7 games, it was horrible.
We can't. But the thing is like we can't sit on here and we can't down the Packers because they had the 27th scoring defense when we had a very bad defense too.
I'm not saying
And
we had a great defense. I'm saying the turnaround happened after those 7 weeks when we were 32nd for 7 straight weeks.
And the Packers can say the exact same thing with that 21st ranked defense. They were awful at the beginning of the season, and then when they got their guys back, they progressed just like we did. So Barry gets a lot of the shit, but what do you think out there when it comes to the defenses? I mean, do you believe in that Packers defense? I mean, you got all them first-round draft picks on there. Do you believe that Joe Barry can turn this around, or do you think they should fire him? No, has nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with the drops. That's what he's saying.
Oh, it has nothing to do with the drops. Okay, so that doesn't hurt Aaron Rodgers when he throws balls right on your wide receiver's hands and they drop it. That couldn't have been a first down. That couldn't have made your season better. You only missed the playoffs by 1 game, right? You don't think that those 41 drops contributed to not 1 loss that you had last year?
I'm quite sure they contributed to the first one versus us when it was a 15-6 game.
Right. So, I mean, Steven, if you want to go out there and you want to homer your team and just say Aaron Rodgers was the cancer of your team and he did nothing to help your team and that everything is good now, finally that crummy Hall of Fame quarterback is gone and now you can move on with your life. If you really believe that, gosh, man, I've been a Lions fan for so long and I've seen a lot of delusional hopes, and I've even had some delusional hopes myself. I may have delusional hopes this year because I think the Lions are going to not only win the division, I think it's a one-legged race. They will win the division and there won't be this ain't no 4-dog. This ain't the division is up for grabs for everybody. It's the Lions and then 3 teams vying for second place. And really nobody could take me off of that based off of anything football. Like you couldn't say anything other than you haven't won a playoff game. I mean, if you want to say the same garbage that everybody else has, because this is a brand new year. It's always been a brand new year. Every year is a brand new year. And you got a whole bunch of people on the Lions team right now that most of them are too young to even remember the Lions being anything other than crummy. So they are playing and they don't care about the past. They don't embody the past. They're brand new dudes, 22, 23 years old that don't care about what happened in the past. They're here. The Lions have arrived and there ain't nothing you can do about it.
And the biggest difference that I see from all of those rosters in the past, did we overpay for CJGJ, a guy on a Super Bowl team, to come play for us? No. It isn't the same old Lions, because the same old Lions would have had to pay him $20 million to be here.
Especially when you're looking at some of the other safeties that were picked up, that were getting those $15, $16 million deals, and the fact that he came in that led the league in interceptions and came in and he's playing for $6 million. And you're telling me that we got who would say that we got ripped off in that trade? Let's go down some of these comments because we are getting some of them in here. I'm sure somebody's going to call me a homer here sooner or later. Barry says there's a big difference between being a believer and being diluted. Yeah. And we know how Barry feels. He kind of went off yesterday on the whole thing and how they handled the Aaron Rodgers situation. And this is an indictment on Gutekunst. Like, even though he handled this offseason, like, I would say that he saved grace. But the fact that you missed an opportunity to get 3 first-round draft picks for Aaron Rodgers last year.
And that buttload of players.
And you should be fired for that alone, even though you did okay in this offseason. But still, you're sitting here and you're trying to justify like $40 million behind the cap. You ripped the Band-Aid off. You did the best that you could with it. But just to expect to come in and you're just going to win the division because you're the Packers? I mean, what football reasons are you saying with the 21st ranked defense and losing a Hall of Fame quarterback? What are you going to say? to that. I love having we got Steven and Barry are going head to head, like right in here. You got Barry, who I believe is a realistic Packers fan and is upset. And then there's Steven, who, gosh, I mean, Madonna could go in there being the quarterback and he'd be like, we're going to win the NFC North.
Hey, homers are good. What's up, Woody?
How are you?
Woody's
Fantastic.
Hey, Russell, did you get my? I tagged you in a post. Who the Lions picked? The Lions picked up wide receiver from the USFL.
Yep, that Trey. Can't remember his last name.
Hey, I wanted to
Trey
ask
Quinn.
what is
Quinn.
what and it's I've been seeing this year that I forget I didn't see his name, but the Lions released a wide receiver for a injury designation. What does that mean?
He had a calf strain.
So they just released him?
The first couple of days, they medically waived him. It's a waive.
Oh, they don't put in that words.
And that's simple. That comes with, like, if he gets waived, then and he clears the waivers, then he'll probably end up going on our practice squad like he's been for the last 3 years anyway. Like I don't think that Tom Kennedy is one of those guys that, like, the 31 teams just can't wait. This is, I have a shot at Tom Kennedy. Said no one ever.
Hey,
so he had
Panthers might want him because he's a better quarterback than Andy Dalton. You're talking about the beige water pistol there.
No, the Red Rocket.
Wait a minute. What about? Didn't they just draft Bryce Young over there? Isn't Bryce Young going to start? I mean, I know he's 5'1", but you never know.
Well, who else they have there?
Right. Well, they picked Bryce Young number 1 overall. I mean, you would assume that the number 1 overall pick is probably going to start. I don't know.
I personally believe you need to do exactly what they did with the Chiefs, exactly what we're doing with Hendon Hooker. You need to sit a rookie for a while before you play them. They need to develop that playbook, absorb it, learn it.
Or you can be like McCaffrey and just read the playbook on the plane over to San Francisco.
Well, that's what Mims did coming here and comes in on a day later in training camp and started showing out.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Van Ness is on an island on his own. No, this dude is dogging the Packers in different ways as tears roll down his eyes.
See, I listened to your I listened to your show yesterday, and I wanted to get on with Bill, but I didn't see the link. But this Aaron Rodgers situation, it's just, you have the Aaron Rodgers lovers and you have the Packer fans. The Aaron Rodgers lovers are pissed off because they thought he would be retired as a Packer. And I was hearing that guy that over in Scotland and the way Bill was saying and stuff like that. If I was a Packer fan, I would say, hey, it's over. First of all, he's old, but he can still play. But if he only wins 1 championship since the whole time they were there, like, how good are you? I mean, I know you won the division, you're the Bears daddy and all that shit, which I'm sick of hearing, which I won't hear again. But if I was a Packer fan, I'd be pretty happy because Aaron Rodgers wasn't happy there for the last couple of seasons. So I'd be happy to get rid of him and start with a new new quarterback and see how he does. Now, if Jordan Love doesn't do good this year, boy, these Packer fans are going to come out saying how much they miss Aaron Rodgers. So just be prepared.
So
yeah, one thing will happen or the other thing will happen. I mean, that's why I love this topic, right? Because this is a dividing topic, even between, like, Packer fans, and we're going to get A-Dub's thought on this here in a second. But it's dividing. You have half the fan base that was like, hey, we needed Rodgers. It reminds me of the Stafford and Goff situation. Oh, we need Rodgers. And then this other is like, oh, we need to move to the future. We need to rip the Band-Aid off. Yeah, this is going to be the worst that it will be for Packer fans, right? This year, they ripped the Band-Aid, they're $40 million behind the cap they're not going to be able to compete with the other teams that have full boatloads. But what
Now,
do you think about this?
Well, my question is, do you see when Aaron Rodgers retires, do you see him signing that year contract to retire as a Packer?
That's a great question for you, A-Dub.
Or the
He's
one
got
day
the
in the
lag.
offseason.
Let's give him a minute for a lag here, but answer that question, A-Dub.
More than likely, he may. Like, if there's no ill will feelings between us and him down the road in the next couple of years, he could sign that one. He could sign that deal to retire as a Green Bay Packer. I mean, most of us may be there. Like you said, the fan base is divided. Like some of us are upset about this and about that part where you say he did that pay cut with the Jets. I look at that as part of the ideal chance that he may be setting himself up for a time where the Jets and the Packers could play each other, and that could happen depending on how both teams finish this year.
That's a great take right there. But go ahead, Jeremy.
Here's the other thing. Packers fans need to be rejoicing. By them restructuring his contract is no longer on their books. All they get is the dead cap hit. They don't
next year, correct?
No, he reduced his contract this year too. Because he restructured his contract.
All right. Well, I'm going to go in and I'm going to defute that with the little bit of law knowledge that I know. The deal, it doesn't work retroactive. You don't get to go and say, I make this deal, and now since you've restructured, I don't have to pay that money.
No.
Doesn't work.
The dead cap's still there. That dead cap hit stays. I'm talking about his salary because the Packers were taking a portion of his salary. I'm saying that was because he was under contract through the Packers. Now that he's restructured, that becomes the Jets' money, right?
No.
That's what happened with the Rams. That's what happened with the Rams contract.
That's not what happened with the Rams. No, that's not what happened with the Rams. That's legally, contracts are binding, right? You can't sign a contract and then it changes down the road unless it's put into the contract like that. When they took over the contract and they did the switch was the switch. Now the Jets can do whatever they want with that contract. It has no bearing, zero bearing on what happens with the Green Bay contract at this point. They do have to hit all of the dead money. That's like $40 million or something like that in dead money. And I don't even know if they had to eat any of the other stuff that you're talking about anyway. I think that was kind of done anyway. Once the deal's done, man. You can't go back and be like, well, 6 months ago, well, you restructured 6 months later. Well, I don't care. We did a deal 6 months ago. That don't matter. That doesn't have any bearing on the future like that. But put that in the comments. I mean, I could be wrong on that. I'm just putting my layman's view in there, but contracts don't work retroactive as far as I knew. Like you can't go backwards and say, oh, by the way, it didn't happen like that unless it's put into the contract to begin with. So you could be right on that. They may have put something into the contract that the Jets, when they did the trade, that would have made it if they restructured, that they could have got some more money back, but it's not going to be a ton of money. They still got to.
I got a question for A-Dub too. Do you think Aaron Rodgers would have want that to go to the Jets if Tom Brady was still in that division?
Honestly, I wouldn't think so.
See, he's used to owning divisions. You know what I'm saying? So I was just thinking about that. I'm like, if Tom Brady was still in New England, would Aaron Rodgers want to go to the New York Jets? That was I was thinking about that. I was going to ask it today too. So
honestly, he wouldn't, especially and even then, with the AFC being loaded as it is, he would not have had much of a chance over there. Like, you look at the way the AFC is built right now, that whole conference itself is loaded when it comes to elite teams with elite QBs to compete with. So, yeah.
I'm one of those dumb guys.
Don't say that, Russell. Stop putting yourself down. I'm sick of hearing it.
I am one of those dumb guys that think that Aaron Rodgers is going to be the best quarterback in that division over Josh Allen, over Mac Jones. Oh, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is definitely undersold. When I look at this Aaron Rodgers trade, I see big similarities to when Peyton Manning went over there to Denver. You got a loaded defense, and you are not asking Peyton Manning to be Peyton Manning when he goes over there. He just needs to be a game manager as an elite arm. And they're asking him to do the same thing in New York. An elite legit top five defense. You got a legit offensive rookie of the year in Wilson, Breece Hall, young playmakers all over the place. And for some reason, you got rid of 2 young playmakers to bring in Cobb and Lazard. We won't go there, but right now he's got the recipe to just be a game manager, Aaron Rodgers. I
see a lot of similarities between Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is more of a mobile. I mean, Aaron Rodgers can be mobile, but Josh Allen is crazy sometimes because he takes those hits big time. But I see the arm strength, but I can tell Aaron Rodgers has more accurate arm. But the arm strength, I don't know. It's a toss up because Josh Allen has an arm.
You know, when I say best quarterback, I'm not talent to talent. I'm not talking talent to talent right here. No. I'm talking about situation with teams as well. And Aaron Rodgers is just an incredibly accurate quarterback. He isn't going to need to do as much in New York that he had to do to carry the team in Green Bay. That's just my opinion on that. And A-Dub, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say about Josh Allen. Sometimes I watch Josh Allen and I look at his talent and think like this may be there are some cases where I look at Josh Allen and think he could almost be close to he's almost like a Brett Favre kind of QB, given how he's a very out there, reckless gunslinger of the ball at times, given the throws he makes out there.
Oh, look, it's Facebook user.
About the Jets, and another thing I will say about the Jets when I look at them, I think the biggest question mark for the Jets is going to be the offensive line itself. Like, that's the thing I believe there's going to be a major transition for Rodgers. Like,
what is all that?
You go from one when it comes to the offensive lines that you play behind, you're not going to have the one that you had in Green Bay that has been one of the top tier O lines. Like the Jets, they still have holes and question marks with theirs, to which is going to alter Rodgers' game to where he better be a very quick read and a quick passer on the field out there at most.
Well, so if Mike White was successful, not like team wise, like to the playoffs or a Super Bowl run or anything like that, Mike White was a good passer for the Jets last year. So we'll see. I mean, like I said, that's why they play the games.
So, John, I know that you're back there. I keep on muting you, and Steven, too. If you guys want to be on the show, you guys got to remove the background noise. I'm not going to sit here and listen to your TV in the background. So, if you want to say something, I'll try to put you back up here. How can anyone love a cat more than a dog? Yeah, I don't want to listen to that, John. Sorry, I love you, brother, but and you got some fantastic haters up in here that really want to hear you talk. Okay, that's better.
Yeah, the TV on ESPN on.
Yeah. Okay, I appreciate that. And Steven, too. Shut the crap off in the background, and I'll bring you on. But what do you think about this, John?
Well, talking about Aaron Rodgers, he's washed up, man. He's old, washed up. He's got a tunnel vision. When he goes to his top receiver and that's it, he's got tunnel vision, you know. And another thing, too, about him, he never exploit the middle of the field. He always went to the edges. And teams started figuring him out. I mean, they went too high on him. They're forcing him to throw it on the edges. He won't throw in the middle. Now with Rodgers, he's just to the point. I was sick with him. I was done with him about 2 years ago. When we lost against the last playoff game, he was just always Devontae, tunnel vision. I was done. I mean, it's like, you can't be doing that. You got to spread the ball around a little more.
And that's fair. And what I want to throw out there to the people, if you're a Packer fan, I mean, how are you on? And I want to throw this out to non-Packer fans too, because I'm still waiting to find a non-Packer fan that thinks that Rodgers sucks. Like the only people that say that he blows is Packer fans that are agitated like John is. But John has been agitated for more than 1 year. He has been consistent with not liking Rodgers, but I want to find a Bear fan, a Lion fan, or a Viking fan that thinks that Rodgers is trash and that they are better now that not having Rodgers there.
But
I'm just glad he's out of division. He owned us for years.
But one thing about Rodgers, his deep throws, he was like 6 for 40. He was way off last year. I mean, look how many interceptions he threw more. His decision making was a lot worse.
So John, how do you think he'll do in New York?
I think he'll be all right, but I don't think he's gonna be. If they think they're going deep in the playoffs, you got something coming. Their offensive line ain't as good as the Packers. He's gonna be on his ass a lot.
And they had 3 O-linemen hurt last year that are back healthy this season. You don't think that'll help it improve?
No, they don't got good offensive line as we got.
You don't have the offensive line you had.
Yeah,
we got a damn good offensive line.
Hey.
I'll put it right against yours.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go.
Ragnow, fuck that. Ragnow, he's almost done.
Okay, Ragnow's a top 5 center.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
TJ Clayton throws him around like a ragdoll.
No, he doesn't.
Ooh. Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't. Our offensive line punked your defensive line out last year. Like little bitches in the last game. We threw you around.
Why ain't even fucking do that? That guard around like a fucking ragdoll too. Was ready to fucking golf man.
Oh my god!
Right. Well. Okay. I mean,
your offense fucking sucks against our defense, and our defense was even fucking horrible last year.
Is this NFC North open mic?
Evidently, because
I'm just saying, man. Your offense fucking struggles against our defense.
John, your butt hurts.
15 points to 20 points. Yeah, your fucking offense struggles against ours. You average 26. You only average what 16 against us. Yeah, okay.
Hey, can I clarify something up here?
It was 15 the first game and 33 the second game. Are you delusional?
You fucking lost. What you want? 20 points the first or second game and 15 points the first game. Get out of here.
But who
struggles against our defense?
Who won both of those games?
Yeah, you ran against us. That's the only reason why you ran. Actually, you guys didn't win it. Roger lost both those games for us. Our defense did their job.
All right.
Our offense
Okay, John. Okay, Packer fan. I have to throw this out to the Packer people right here. I mean, can you subscribe to this? This sounds like nonsense and excuses making to me because you lost both games. 0-3 in the last 3 games.
Our offense stunk last year. Our defense
sure did. In every facet of the game, you lost because you lost in the final score. I've had to listen to this for 10 years where the Lions have been close to beating the Packers for 10 years. And every time I get shut down by you can't talk about that. Who won the game? Oh, you're going to bitch about some ghost.
I get it. You guys won the game. I have no problem with that, but I know the reason why we lost is because our offense.
I've had to look at Packer fans justifying a face mask call that happened where you got an extra Hail Mary, and I've dealt with that. We lost that game because you can't blame the referees. And
maybe Trey Flowers can be putting his hands on a face mask, maybe.
And now, now I have to mute you, John, because that's nonsense. You're going to have to. You are putting nonsense out there because right now you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. One, you're saying that Trey Flowers needs to not do a face mask on a ghost face mask penalty that everybody in the world, we got an apology from the NFL from that. And we don't complain about that. I'm not going to complain about that. We lost that game. And you're going to sit here and you're going to tell me that we didn't win games that we won because Rodgers just wasn't playing good.
Can I say something?
Is that what you're telling me?
Basically, fucking Rodgers played like shit.
Okay.
Hey,
But here you go. We made you play like shit, John. Our defense was so good that we made your offense play like shit. And that's what happens in football.
All year long, when we didn't play against you, our offense played like shit. You guys made our offense look like shit. Yeah, get out of here.
Oh, you won 5 of your last 6 games.
Yeah, barely.
Barely.
We had a lucky season, just like you guys did. A lucky fluke season, just like you did in the second part.
Okay, so John's got lucky fluke season. What do you got, Mr. Van Ness? I know that you're just as big of a homer as John Dorn.
Oh, wait. Let me put you in your place here. Now, let me clarify something here. What you guys were saying earlier, wherever you see, this dude that was in the Jets podcast had nothing to do with what you were saying, Russell, so no offense or nothing like that. I mean, this dude was just literally dissing the Packers. Had nothing to do with what you were saying about Rodgers and drop passes and all that BS bullshit and whatever. I mean, this dude literally was, I mean, seriously, you bunch of ass kissers, you go into these other teams' podcasts or not because of this BS bullshit talking, and you sit there and you run down your team, and then you're going to go elsewhere and be what you two-faced. I mean, I can't stand that. You know, it's funny that, like, I bit my tongue in there. I kept my mouth shut because it's like this. I'm going to say this about Aaron Rodgers. These Jet fans have no idea what the fuck they got. Now, I'm not going to diss the guy. Now, excuse my French. If the Jets don't win any Super Bowls while Rodgers is there, those Jet fans is going to have so much egg on their face that us Packer fans is going to give us some cheese to go with that egg.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, Steve. Let me ask you a question with this. Right. Let's go on the other side of it.
Okay.
Let's go on the other side. What happens if Rodgers goes to the Jets and kills it?
Hey, I'll praise him. See, I'm a stand-up guy.
Will you?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I'm a stand-up guy. But the thing is, for people to sit there and talk smack, like I said, now look, I'm just a realist, okay, with Rodgers, and that maybe with John. And John, I think I met you one time in '98 if you was in Pittsburgh. I'm not really sure because you look familiar. But anyway, let me just be real here. Rodgers thinks he's above the freaking effing league. This whole shit, darkness retreat, I've been vaccinated. He cost the Packers the game in KC and all this, I can't FaceTime and whatever. Come on. These Jets are buying this prima donna BS that's in New York. Now that's up on the AFC. Now, I learned something the other day. The Jets won 7 games last year. 2 of those games were against Josh Allen. They won. Good game. Aaron Rodgers, but good game. 5 of those games they played was against second and third string quarterbacks. Now they got this top defense and whatever, and you played second and third string quarterbacks. Now the AFC is stacked. That AFC is stacked. The NFC is like the USFL right now. No wonder we got Alex Magoo, which I love dearly. And you guys, who was it? Woody, you said you guys picked up a receiver from the USFL as well?
No, Detroit.
Oh, Detroit. Okay. See, the thing is about me. I mean, I love being here. I love being here with you guys. You guys are awesome to chat with and be with. You guys are fun. But see, I'm a realist. I can joke here and there. But if you're going to come into a place and you're a Packer fan or whatever, and you're going to now, let me ask you this, Russell. If you were somewhere and you saw a Lion fan saying, "Dish your damn Lions so goddamn freaking bad," and then turn around, come around, and this. See, you don't play two-faced with me. I'm a legit diehard Packer fan. I love my Pack since I was 4 or 5 years old. Okay, and I love you guys here to come in here to listen to you guys. And Jeremy seems really knowledgeable football. I like listening to him. I mean, you guys are fun.
Thank you.
But that's what I was just saying is that when I saw this dude in that and way he was dissing something about whatever, I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Hey, I feel you, man. The Lions literally just went through it. We just traded Matt Stafford, our franchise quarterback. I mean, we literally just did what you did. And almost for the exact same compensation, you know? Like, I think that we got a little bit more, but I think that Stafford was a little bit younger. when we traded him, but our fan base was divided, and there was a whole bunch of people. They had people wearing Detroit Rams shirts. Like, how pathetic is that? That you.
Well, I think what divided it was because he went out and won a Super Bowl right after that. I mean, he won a Super Bowl. Bam.
And
that's why I asked the question. That's why I asked the question to both of you guys, because what happens if Rodgers goes and wins this Super Bowl with the Jets?
Hey, I praise him, but to sit there and say that if Jordan Love stinks or doesn't do good, that we're going to feel bad that Aaron Rodgers. Hell no! It's time for that SA to go. What are they?
Yep.
It'll take 2-3 years. It'll take 2-3 years of bad seasons to get rid of him.
And look at where the Lions are right now with that. Like, like if you asked Lion fan at the end of 2021, they would say that Goff was a joke and that the Lions are a joke and that nothing worked. Way to get rid of your franchise quarterback for nothing, right? At the end of 2022, now there's a different thing when you can actually see the draft picks coming in and you got a full draft class of people that have actually performed on the field. We're not wondering like Woody is with the Bear fans. They got a whole bunch of new players. You're not wondering how these guys are going to do. You know how these guys are going to do because you've seen them play for an entire year. So it's a different dynamic right now, Steve.
See what I love right now is this. We got a young team like Jeremy was, like I said yesterday, whatever it was. Green Bay and Kansas City are like the two youngest teams. See, we ain't got no Super Bowl aspirations anymore, and I love that shit. I get all because of Aaron Rodgers. Really? See, I love what's happening now. The new team, the young team that's going to be built. I'm not expecting those Super Bowl. No. And now you guys are the favorite to win the NFC North. I have no problems with that. I mean, it is what it is. If it happens, I will say Russell, Jeremy, Maniac, Michaela, I have to call him that now, and whatever. God, that you guys won NFC North.
Yeah, and the best. I mean, you guys can even dig. You can dig on this Lions team, even if we win the NFC North.
No,
all you Packer fans can just say, "It's about time." Like, I mean, it had to happen eventually.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
The sun shines on a Lion's ass someday.
Well, let me ask.
Blind squirrel find out once in a while.
Yeah.
Well,
But
Russell.
Hold on, Steve. Hey, Steven, let me allow A-Dub and other people to talk. So I'm going to allow A-Dub to talk now because you've had the floor for a little while right here. So go ahead, A-Dub. Sorry about that.
I'm saying I would also be somebody who congratulates Detroit on winning the division. Like, I've never really had no beefs or problems with Detroit. Like, I felt they were more – when it comes to the Lions, I always felt like this team is one of those teams you could never really hate or pretty much badmouth in any kind of fashion because they've seen more than enough and suffered more than anyone in this division. So
all right,
them coming out on top would be good to see. My only thought process and question was what we will see them do in the playoffs would be the bigger question as they do win it.
So I'm going to say this right here off of that. That was the best smack talking that I've ever heard on this show. That was the wound that cut the deepest right there, A-Dub. You had the best smack talk. That statement right there hurts me more than anything anyone could ever say about Jared Goff or anything else. The fact that you said, I'm not even worthy to be your enemy and that you don't like me or that you're okay with me is the biggest insult you could ever get in my fan base. I want you to hate me. You need to hate me. My team needs to be good enough that A-Dub comes on here. I'm so sick of these freaking Lion fans coming here. I want that. I don't want people being like, oh, look at those little Lion fans. They're trying real hard. And gosh, you guys, we would sure love for you. I don't like that. I want to be one of the dogs that are out there. I want you to fear the Lions. I want to root for a team that is feared. So thank you for that, A-Dub. That's the best smack talking I've ever heard on this show. Woody, it's your turn.
Hey, like I said, I think Detroit hands down. I picked them to win the division this year. It's their due. I think Minnesota is going to finish last, and it's going to be a dogfight between the Bears and the Packers for second. I mean, like I said before, it's going to be a 2-year process for us. You know, all the accusations we had from the offensive line, and there's going to be no excuses this year for Justin Fields, because if he does bad this year with our, 2 number 1 picks, we're going for the next, young quarterback to come out. But like I said, hands down, Detroit is a surprising, and they're going to be a dark horse, and I think the NFC total. I'm thinking that they might even win a playoff game this year, the way they go. But like I said, that's why we play the games, and we'll find out, what they can do. So
I thought I saw you looking at that S word. You went, what about a playoff game?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You never know. You never know.
All right, John Dorn. I mean, this rivalry. I mean, have we even gotten to a point where we've pissed you off yet? Like,
No, to me, the Lions are just like the Browns, man. Overhyped Browns. That's all the Lions are. Till you win something, you guys are just same old Lions, man. You gotta do it. Right now, I still think the Packers can win the division. I think the Lions can win the divisions. I think anybody in our team or in our division can actually win a division this year.
Oh, hell no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I can't subscribe to the Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to be picking in the top 5.
Their offense still can be good yet. Their offense still be good. They had a crappy defense last year, and they still won the division. I mean, what's?
Yeah, but look what they've lost.
They got a mediocre running back, Madison. Addison, we don't know what's going on with him. If he's going to be suspended now because of his Lamborghini speeding.
Yeah,
and like I said, without Dalvin Cook, and I did say this, they're going to double JJ.
Yeah.
I know Adam Thielen fell off the market, the last couple of seasons, but they don't even have him there. He was like a savior for them if JJ wasn't open.
Yeah, but Osborne's still pretty good though.
You got Osborne too, but like I said, they're going to be doubling JJ. And I think Minnesota's going to finish last. That's just my opinion.
Who? Osborne? Like Osborne is a number 3 wide receiver, and you're expecting him now. He's going to be a number 2 wide receiver, and you're expecting a 175-pound first-round draft pick doing 140 to be the savior of that. You got an offensive line that's good, but you got, like he said, what you alluded to right there, Madison. Like, this team's going to regress. All the other teams around you got better, a lot better,
and
Hawkinson too.
Also, and not to mention for the Vikings, they still have question marks that they haven't addressed with their defense either. Like,
right, and they
see how bad that defense looked last season. It doesn't seem to look any better this year.
Right on. Yeah, and I'm not.
You like that?
I would love to, I'll put the link into these comments again, and I've been waiting for a Viking fan to come and give me football reasons. In the entire summer, I've been inviting people on here, and these Viking fans, other than Jamez being a homer, coming in and just saying they're going to win because they won last year, there's no football reasons. I can't get a Viking fan in here to give me football reasons why you think you're going to be good at all. I mean, I don't get it. I don't see where you get your confidence from. But help me understand. If you're throw it out there. We ain't got
and Russell, you still think the Vikings are going to lose every game, get swept in the division?
They'll lose every game in the division, and I'll stand on that. And I'll tell you what, I'm a man too. If they come in and they win the division, or they do something like that, I'll stand correct. I'll say that I was wrong, but I just don't see it.
Can I ask an honest question?
Go ahead, Steven.
This is for Woody and Russell. You got to be honest. Would you want Dalvin Cook?
No, because I it's hard to say because he can't stay healthy.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you said that.
No, he can't stay healthy.
Okay.
If he's healthy, he's a beast of a runner, but he can't stay healthy. That's my answer.
I mean, like, if it just say out of the blue, if the Lions or the Bears, you guys woke up tomorrow morning and the Lions or Bears signed Dalvin Cook, would you like yes, or like, oh man,
I would take Cook over Montgomery, that's for sure. If I was a Lions fan.
So if I'm a Bear fan, I think Woody's crazy right there. I would take Dalvin Cook in a heartbeat over anything that you have in that backfield. But as a Lion fan, when you bring in David Montgomery and you draft a running back in the first round, no, I don't think that's a good idea for the Lions.
Well, we did the same thing. We drafted Roshan Johnson. I mean, they said he's going to be a beast. I like Khalil Herbert, and we signed Devontae Foreman, which he ran great in Carolina. So
I like Herbert.
I forgot about Devontae Foreman. I don't think that either one of us need him. But
he's not.
I challenge you to look out there, Steven. Actually, don't just ask the question just to Lion fan and Bear fans. Where the hell is he going to go? Who does need a $10 million?
Buffalo.
Okay, let me say this. Let me say this. When I was over there in the Jet Pod, they was so high because I guess Cook is going there this weekend, and they're so high that Jets are going to that. Rodgers took that pay cut, that $35 million pay cut, and now they feel that they can sign Cook. I mean, remember back in the day when the Redskins, when they got Bruce Smith, Deion Sanders, they got all those guys from back in the day. In this whatever.
Nobody remembers that's on this show that is under the age of 40.
Yeah, Steven.
Or the Dream Team Eagles.
Steven, I did want to tell you that Dalvin Cook visited the Jets a couple of days ago, and they did not offer him a contract, them or Miami.
He's going to have to come down on his price, man. I mean,
that already happened because they're talking that he's going there this weekend.
No, he was there a couple of days ago, and now he's visiting Buffalo to maybe join up with his brother.
Is he might be getting suspended though for some reason, for some altercation off the field or something?
For being hurt, maybe.
No,
and I can go down that I will bet any Jet fan before. Now, John, I want to hear your take on this when I say this, but I'm going to bet before the trade deadline or right at the trade line, the Packers and Jets make a trade for David Bakhtiari. I believe it's going to happen.
Could happen, yeah.
What is this, like the National Enquirer? Like, are we are we really going here? Like, we're going deep cuts right here.
If I was the Jets, Miami or Buffalo, I'd be holding off on Cook and waiting for an injury because Jets have Hall. He's a good young runner. Too bad he got hurt last year. Buffalo, they have his brother Cook, and Miami where they have Mostert. That's it. So I'm thinking they're waiting for that injury. Now, if Hall gets injured for the Jets, I can see Jets going after Dalvin Cook. So, and plus you got to think Zeke's there too. So we don't know.
I love that take right there with the injury take right there. What do you think, A-Dub?
Yeah, I would say the same thing too. And the thing is like this: the best chance he gets, and like anyone said, the best chance Cook or any other running back gets signed is a matter of taking less because, as you will see and know, the market for running backs is very low nowadays, and most teams that are successful, they don't have no dominant big name running back in their backfields. Like most teams are gonna do run by committee ordeals now. So any running back that gets signed may as well consider a small pay to just play your role and make the run game better, but you won't be the predominant only name in the backfield.
Right on. I got some comments in here, so let's go in there. Calvin says, not the Vikings. Thank you for the comment right there. And Brent says, not SOL anymore. And I have to subscribe to that because, and you all have to too, whether you want to admit it or not, because it isn't SOL anymore. And if it is, then I want you to point out all of the years where we beat the Packers in Lambeau and beat 3 playoff teams and 2 teams on the road. I want you to go back in history and show me where that was SOL because I haven't seen it.
When's the last time you won a playoff game?
See, you're changing the subject. SOL is somebody that doesn't win on the road, that loses the games in Lambeau, that doesn't beat winning teams because Stafford was 5-195 against winning teams. I know that's not the real stat, but he doesn't win against winning teams. So when this team goes out and has a winning record on the road, has a winning record against winning teams, and wins in Lambeau, those are three things that are definitely not SOL. So if you want to say,
he goes to Browns. He goes to Browns. Have one good season, and then they taper right off again. It's a Browns.
Like I said, John, go back in history. Find me the SOL moment. Find me the SOL moment, because you can't say playoffs because the Lions have never went to the playoffs. They haven't done that at all.
Yeah, they won the division. They're going to playoffs. Same old Lions. I'll tell you what, they do that. That's my bucks.
And that's fine.
Your standard's lower than mine, Steve.
But well, okay. My thing was win a road game.
Beating the Packers is pretty much putting a banner up in your thing. Hey, we beat the Packers. We swept them.
And I will put that banner up proudly, and I'll put it right up there and say we beat the Packers. And you can make fun of me by saying that we beat the Packers. Go ahead, A-Dub.
Yeah, I know this may be on subject, but I was about to go back to this thing with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Like, my thought process is, who's to say that the Jets won't go through the same transition that the Buccaneers and the Rams are going through if they win the Super Bowl? Like when it came to the Rams and the Buccaneers, after they won their Super Bowls, both teams went on a downslide, a slump of sorts, to where they are not that same team that they used to be anymore. Who's to say the Jets won't go through that same transition with Rodgers if they should win a Super Bowl?
One thing about Jets, they're a young team.
That take.
I love that team.
I love that take right there, because I think it's inevitable. The way that they set that contract, that new deal up where he gave them all the money for this year, it is just like the Vikings last year. They pushed all of those chips right to the front, and they're going all in. They want to. If they don't win the Super Bowl this year, it ain't gonna happen for them. This is all in, just like the Rams. Just like, I love that take. Great take.
So to all the Packer fans that are on, A-Dub, Steve, and John, who wins the division this year in the NFC North?
NFC North?
Yes. Like, who's your honest opinion? I mean, honestly.
Packers.
Who's going to win?
Packers. I have confidence in my defense, and I think our offense can be played good enough to keep us relevant.
Okay, so John says Packers. Where are you at, Steven?
Honestly, I feel that we can do it.
Okay, so we got two of the Packer fans. Who do you got? A-Dub.
Well, before anything got started, I already said to myself, I felt like Detroit with everything going right in their direction with the building process and all. I felt Detroit would have it this year. Like, okay. I'm not pushing too much for Green Bay to do that much this year. Like, I'm in a sit and wait moment with Jordan Love to see what we have there. If Green Bay makes it that far, then that's good. But I just want to see what this offense could do right now before I make my case with where I stand with Green Bay.
And I feel the same way with all the additions that we have. And, I know we only had 3 wins last year, but I picked us to go 7-10. And that's a big jump from last year. And people might not say, it's still a losing record. Well, I don't give a shit. It's still an improvement. Now, next year, I'm thinking it's playoffs for us next year, because it's going to be a 2-year process.
Playoffs? One thing about it, too, now, it's like, we got the 7th seed now for playoffs, so it's not really that hard to get into the playoffs.
Hey, Woody, bro, I think this is Fields' last year in Chicago.
That's what I was thinking as well with because like I said before, there's no excuses this year. We beefed up our offensive line. We got all these weapons. And I watched the training camp yesterday, and this Tyler Scott, the wide receiver, is just exploded with speed. And I know speed's not everything, but it's there.
High state quarterbacks don't make it.
Right, yeah. So, but we still have those two number one picks next year. We're going to go after another young quarterback. So we'll see.
What quarterback do you like in next year's draft? I want to see if you.
Oh God.
I love this take. This is such a like an anti-Ohio State take when you just say it like, well, who was the quarterback that won at Wisconsin before Russell Wilson? I mean, stop with this. There's only been like 60 years, and there's 119 freaking schools, guys.
Russell.
And the Ohio State Buckeyes for 20 years breeded running backs and defensive ends.
But their quarterbacks never make it.
That's because they never had a coach that used quarterbacks until they got to the coach that they had. Ryan Day brought in Justin Fields and C.J. Stroud. Both of those quarterbacks were touted as high-end quarterbacks. They don't get high-end quarterbacks in Ohio State.
Now, no offense, but this Jahmyr Gibbs you guys got from Alabama, he's going to be another Eddie Lacy or Trent Richardson. Alabama running backs, but outside of Derrick Henry, they really don't make it in the NFL.
Oh, okay. So Josh Jacobs is nobody. You're wrong. Wow, that is an awful take. That is an awful take. Josh Jacobs is a top 5 back, dude. Stop it with the nonsense. Don't just make shit up on this show.
I'm not making shit up.
Oh, okay. So what? Oh, how? Okay. So how many Alabama running backs are good? You say none of them are, except for Derrick Henry.
Right.
Okay. Well, there's 2 top 5 running backs in the NFL right now that are Alabama. Actually, Alabama dominates as a running back school right now.
Just like the Badgers, their offensive line and running backs.
It's like, wow, that is an awful take, man. That is a what you call a non-research take right there. I'm just gonna talk out my ass.
Well, I to answer Steve's question, I mean, obviously Caleb Williams is probably going to be the best quarterback to come out of college next year, but everybody likes those Heisman Trophy winners. But I also like that Bo Nix from Oregon. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
They could get both of those guys. Charles says, Packers, y'all done. Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, we go there. But the kneecap with biting with that's Jeremy says Viking fans are in witless. Nice plan. What they're in witless protection. Yeah.
I'll give you the sleeper quarterback in next year's draft to look out for. It's not Williams.
I'm sure it'll be good with your Josh Jacobs take.
It's not the guy from North Carolina.
Oh, May?
Nope. Yeah, May. It's ain't going to be May. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be bad. Don't take it that way. Spencer Rattler.
Well, he's a sleeper too, but then you got Penix up in Washington as well. So there's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out of the draft next year, but I mean, the Bears have to start over again. That's what's going to be really frustrating if Justin Fields doesn't work out. It's just real frustrating.
Well, Ken Fisher says 8.
8, 9, 9.
All right. Ken Fisher says 8 and 9 for Minnesota, 9 and 8 Bears.
Nah.
Get a little
I'd
bit
say
of
7 and 10.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I mean, but there, Ken's giving the Bears a little bit of love right there. Actually, he's giving the Minnesota a little more love than I thought you should get. Bear Down Mike says no Dalvin.
No.
So, I mean, I feel you on that. I forgot about the Foreman deal. Ken Fisher says the Lions 12 and 5. I like that. That's about right where I have them. You know, go ahead and laugh it up, man. I'll have your face on here trying to justify that. John Dorn is such a bad take. On Montgomery. What was your take?
Cook, because I said Cook. I'll take Cook over Montgomery, which I would.
I would too. I would take Cook over Montgomery. I'm not going to go with you on that one, Jeremy. Lions, Bears, Vikings, Green Bay.
Whoa! Why does people high up on the Vikings? Like, I'm thinking they're going to finish last. Am I the only one that thinks that they're going to be finishing last in the division this year? Please tell me. What am I missing? What am I missing?
Throw it in there. Throw it. I like these. Like, if you can throw these in there, what's the order of what you think that everybody's going to finish? That's a good one right there. And I really do. I mean, I love that most of these people have the Lions, other than Packer fans, every other fan base has the Lions winning, and then a 3-legged race for the second place, and the Vikings, and it's like some people have the Bears at the bottom. I mean, it's you got
all depends for the Bears. It all depends
rebuilding
on the
teams.
field. With the Bears, it all depends on the field of how he plays. If he plays good, I mean, if this passing game gets better, they could be contenders, definitely.
Well, look at John Dorn segueing right here. This is into our very next subject right here, where we're going to talk about, and I have the Jordan Love picture in there, but this is about Justin Fields. Like, there's half the fan base that believes this guy is going to have a Jalen Hurts type of breakout, and then there's the other half of the fan base that thinks that he's on the path of RG3, which means he's going to be out of the league by the end of the year. Now, we want to put this out to the people. What do you think, no matter what fan base you are, Justin Fields, is he going to be more like Hurts, or is he going to be more like RG3?
It's hard to say because, like I said, it depends on the offensive line. Now, if Justin Fields is going to be running for his life again, yeah, I can't see him. He's going to be an RG3. It depends. It depends on the offensive line. Now, Jalen Hurts, you got to think, we don't have an AJ Brown on our team. We don't have a big, strong receiver. Now, we'll see how Claypool works out. All the other guys are speed. We don't have that Alshon Jeffrey. We don't have that Brandon Marshall. So it's hard to say what Justin Fields, what's he going to be, a Jalen Hurts or a RG3? It depends on their offensive line. It's just, that's how it is, because Justin Fields is a good thrower. But, he needs the weapons. And like I said, he has to get his tight ends. We got Tanyan, we got Komet. You got to get the tight ends involved and not favor any receivers like he did with Mooney.
Komet.
And I'm afraid to ask you, John Dorn, what you think of Justin. Well, I'm not afraid. I actually just know what you're going to say.
Yeah, it's like Matt Nagy. You miss Matt Nagy, don't you?
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
I think he's going to be a bust. I mean, once his first read is taken care of, he buckles. He panics. He wants to run the ball right away. He just can't read the defenses like he should. His progressions, he goes on the ball too long. I mean, you can see about his offensive line. The offensive line wasn't that bad last year. It really wasn't. It was just him holding the ball too long. He drops way back. Like a 7 drop back. He does like 20. And he gets sacked way back. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Throw the ball away at least.
And that's what I said too. Is Justin Fields can't take sacks this year. He's got to throw the ball out of bounds if he doesn't have anybody open.
Exactly.
And he's taken a lot of sacks last year.
Steven, what do you think about Justin Fields?
Well, I gave you my implement on that.
I mean, do you think he's going to be more like Hurts this year, or more like RG3?
RG3 or worse. He's done. This is his last year in Chicago. I'm telling you that right now. Him and Kirk Cousins won't even be in Minnesota next year. I'm telling you that.
All right, stay on subject, okay?
Okay. Fields, he's done. This is his last year in Chicago.
Okay. So, but they have the 2 first-round draft picks kind of backing that up. Like, oh, there's A-Dub. So, A-Dub, how are you feeling about Justin Fields being more? Is he more like RG3, or is he going to be more like Jalen Hurts this year?
Personally, I could see him leaning towards the RG3 path. Like I already said, this year for me would be a make or break year for Fields. Like what he said, like Fields has to prove himself to be more efficient in his game, especially as far as being a more efficient passer of the ball out there. Especially now that you have a true wide receiver 1 in DJ Moore over there. That's somebody you got to have a very solid connection with for your game to be taken up a level. Like that's just how I look at Fields right now. And he could be on that RG3 path. That is, if he doesn't have the solid protection that he needs out there.
All right. So I get to see, I love playing devil's advocate because there are 2 sides to this coin. And since everybody kind of went against Justin Fields, I'm going to make a case for Justin Fields to be like Jalen Hurts, because you bring in a guy like DJ Moore, and DJ Moore has made his living with quarterbacks outside of the pockets when things breaking down, becoming available. And that could be a very good gem. And here's the thing about Justin Fields passing is with his running ability, he doesn't need to be an awesome passer. He just has to be a competent passer and be able to use their weaknesses against when they come up on him. He just needs to be able to dump it over and get it to the playmaker. If he can do that, I mean, it's going to be he's a scary athlete, and he doesn't have to throw that well to end up putting up Jalen Hurts type of numbers. So that's the case I'll make for him. I don't believe it's going to happen. I'm just making the case of the best case scenario where he could be like that.
You better hope that he stays healthy the rest of the season too. If he's going to be more of a running quarterback.
He's going to be dead. He's going to be dead by week 5. Oh, we got Mike Abraham.
I was ready to call Russell an Ohio State homer by saying that about Justin Fields.
Hey, and that's what it is. Well, I'm going to say, I'm going to bring Mike on this, but last year, Mike and I'm an Ohio State fan. So I grew up an Ohio State fan, and I am kind of a homer that way. Mike and I had a bet last year, and I lost the bet, and I ended up having to wear some Michigan gear. Was pretty embarrassed about the whole thing. But main event, Mike, how you doing, brother?
Oh, it was so glorious, Russ, to see you in that Michigan hoodie and that Michigan hat. Oh, my gosh. Was it glorious? Go Blue forever, baby!
You gotta know that shit. You like that?
You get 10 banger on that one, Mike.
What was that, a 10 banger?
That's a solid 10. That's the most that you can get on this show from Kirk Cousins. Is 10.
Holy moly. Well, since seeing as how we only beat you twice in the last 20 years, I'll take a 10 banger for that.
Yeah. And really, I think that you have turned, and that just to get a little off subject, you have turned that battle. I think that Ohio State has to prove that they can beat Michigan under the new, because if they lose this year, then there's an entire freshman all the way to senior class that doesn't know what it's like to beat Michigan, and that's a scary place to be. So they got to win this year, or Michigan's going to own the rivalry officially.
Yeah, kind of like C.J. Stroud, who never beat Michigan.
Nope. And he may be the best Ohio State quarterback ever to come down the pipeline as far as a pure thrower. I will say that he's better than Justin Fields as a pure thrower. So he's got a shot over there in Houston. They have a young team that might surprise some people if he can even be average. So
yeah, and there was some footage coming out of Texas camp showing him dropping bombs right into Nico Collins' breadbasket. So how interesting is that? You've got a Buckeye throwing to a Wolverine over there in Houston.
Isn't that something? And on the Lions, you have a Buckeye that is trying to block a Michigan defensive end in Hutchinson, Taylor Decker. I mean, when you go to the pros, I mean, I hated Aiden Hutchinson. I'm telling you, but when he became a Lion, I knew that he was the real deal. I knew it firsthand because he put C.J. Stroud on his ass 3 times in that game, and there was no answer for Aiden Hutchinson. And I'm like, oh, it's like that. And Michigan was like, yeah, it's like that. So
and that's exactly why Brad Holmes was pounding the table when the Jaguars took Trayvon Walker, because he knew he had a cornerstone on defensive end for the next 10 years.
Yeah, and then Jacksonville. Gosh, man, how you feeling about that Trayvon Walker pick now?
Well, I tell you what, Kayvon Thibodeau looks like he was going to be the second best rusher coming out of that class so far.
Yeah, it's so hard that when you pick people based on just freakish abilities, the Bears got a guy like that in the second round in Gerwin Dexter, who wasn't necessarily the best player in college, but the dude's a freak of nature in the middle of that defense. And if they live up to these things, you could have a history-making type of dude. That's a pass rusher right there, if that works out for you.
And we need it.
I think that's a great testament to Brad Holmes also. He went to Florida-Alabama game to scout Gervin Dexter and left going, who is this Jahmyr Gibbs guy? Then he goes to the Texas and Alabama game, and everyone thinks that he's there to scout Bijan or Roshan Johnson. No, he's there looking at Jahmyr Gibbs again.
Yep. I think that's a big God, the league's going to find out about this guy, man. This is going to be so fun watching a running back be able to run behind a line. Like, you're going to answer the question. I'm not saying that Gibbs is going to be Barry Sanders or anything, but I remember when Barry was running that a lot of people were saying, gosh, what would it be like if Barry could run behind Dallas's offensive line? Right? I mean, he would have had like 9,000 yards rushing,
playoffs.
And actually won some playoff games and maybe done something great. Well, this Lions team just built the offensive line first and just dropped the top end running back in. Let's see if this whole thing works. If you can drop talent behind, because I tell you what, Jamal Williams was a good back, but Jahmyr Gibbs is about twice as fast and can catch the ball like as a complete back. It's a obvious upgrade when it comes to skill behind this offensive line. So that's fun. That's fun. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing so good. Just left with the insurance adjuster and how big of a fat of a check they're going to cut me for all the hail damage my house endured. We'll find out in a few days. But I'm sorry I'm late coming on. Who's on with you today, Russ?
Well, we got Woody, the Bear fan. We got A-Dubs on here. Stephen Van Ness is on here. And we got, of course, we got John Dorn, Facebook user. He comes off his
So I don't know why he does that.
What? We got three Packer fans on our show.
We got a Bear fan and two Packer fans on with us.
No, three Packer fans and a Bear fan, and the Vikings are still in witness protection.
You like that?
Witless protection.
Now, what's this tell you here that there's three Packer fans and only, two Lion fans and a Bear? What's that telling you about this division?
Oh, it tells
that reminds me of a joke. That reminds me of a joke. What do you get when you cross three Packer fans and a Bear fan?
Champions.
8 wins.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This fucking guy.
Woody, don't listen to him. Remember, they went 0-16 one year.
Yeah. I bet they still got the bags fucking tucked away for fucking somewhere.
The bags.
Go to the Saints.
Hey, everybody goes through the downtime. I brought up something on Monday when I brought my granddaughter on here, and it's like the thought I'm living vicariously. But at some point in time in like 1992 or 1993, a Packer fan was born that didn't go through the 21 years of losing straight, where you were the joke, where you were the butt of every joke, you were the worst team in the league, and then a Packer fan was born in like 1993 that didn't know anything but winning. And that was the representation that my granddaughter was just born a month ago, and she isn't going to know anything but Lions winning. And they're going to go, what the heck is going on? And we get to see it from the beginning. Or I'm just full of crap like 75% of the people on this show. So it's okay.
13 world championships.
13 world.
Tom Kennedy.
How many world championships does the Lions have?
4.
I was hoping that Steven would come out and give me the fodder right there. But at least John Dorn, at least you come correct with that, because if you're going to tout 13, if you're going back that far, you actually have to give the Lions credit for theirs.
Bears got 9, and Vikings got, well, they say 1, but I think none.
So the Vikings
and all I could say is that we have the most Hall of Famers on. What we have 13, I think it is. Packers have 12, right?
Right. I think you guys got 23, and then we got like 18 or something like that, Hall of Famers.
I'll check it out.
Mike, are you still
Give me a break? Yeah, you guys are right. Your dead players and your retired players are all better than our dead and
Hey, our dead players are better than your live players.
Yeah. Hey, your overhyped team has got at least got 3 players in the top 100 right this year.
So far,
yeah.
Hutchinson, got 88, and I think Justin Fields was at 86, which
Right.
is bullshit.
And Jared Goff was at 66.
And what was that?
Because of his running, Russell. Because he runs a lot.
And hey,
I love
John.
the
And,
fair
hey,
play.
Yeah, for them.
Justin Fields being in the top 100. I love it. Wait till you see the full list. You see how many quarterbacks are ahead of him.
Yeah, there are a lot of
Fucking
quarterbacks
guy.
that end up being in the top 100, and I think that Goff is going to fall victim to that too. We're like, yeah, look at it,
And
we're in
hey,
the top
John.
100, and then like 8 other quarterbacks are going to go.
John and
after it.
A-Dub, did you guys like what Roger said, that he was the best thing that ever came out of Green Bay? If Ray Nitschke and Reggie White and them guys were alive, Rodgers would be picking his ass up off of Lambeau Field.
Well, that's why you always thought he was bigger than a G, and he's not bigger than a G.
All right, Steven, again,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to call you out on this. Is like, Steven, by the way, this is NFC North Talk with Russell Wayne. I ask the questions on this show. So I'm being real with you. I'm going to let you back on here again, but like the show doesn't flow when 5 people are asking questions to the panel. Okay. So we need to keep the show flow so we can keep the 16 viewers that we have. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Steven. Hey, and I got some news for you, Main Event Mike. I want to break news to you and to everybody that's out there. And that way you can be happy. We've been, our page got shut down a couple months ago, and we had to start the new page over. And we got over 1,000 followers already. And Facebook, I'm telling you this live, Mike, I want you to be happy with this. Facebook invited us to the bonus program. So now we are officially making money with this page from Facebook is paying us because of all of you guys out there that have supported this show. And that's the only way that it gets done is with people supporting the show. And God bless each and every one of you that is out there that is watching us do this right now, because we're just a bunch of talking head football fans. Mike and I are musicians. We started this being musicians that just love football. And it is such a blessing to finally make some money from all of the hard work that we did.
And Russell, I thought your announcement was that Detroit signed a kicker.
Yeah.
No, this is Mike. How are you feeling about that, Mike?
I'm still in shock. Are you saying we're monetized finally?
We are monetized on Facebook, and we are officially making money. I have no idea how much. It might be $20 at the end of the month, but it's something. I don't
Direct
know.
deposit. Direct deposit, Russell.
And then we need 75 more subscribers to our YouTube channel so we can get monetized over there. It might only be pennies or nickels right now, but it doesn't matter. We would do this for free anyway because we just love the Lions. We love football. And there's nothing I love more than ripping Packer fans to shreds. And it's a beautiful time to do it.
Yep, and I want to go through the people that have helped us right here, like Detroit Lions News. You allow us to broadcast into your platform. We appreciate the visibility, even though it doesn't help us. Our monetizing, we're helping you get monetized. You're already making money, but this content helps you make a little bit of money. But it helps draw people to our page, which is the Detroit Lion Villain Squad. You can go over there and follow that. Support Mike the Bear fan and the Hallis Hall Report. They're killing this stuff every single Wednesday, and they're going to be they're live every Sunday morning before. If you're a Bear fan, this is great Bears content. And then I would call Bill the Packer fan. I have to say this from business. Bill the Packer fan taught me how to become monetized on Facebook. I couldn't have gotten monetized without you, Bill the Packer fan, and I appreciate you as a human being, even though you have a horrible choice in football teams.
You had to put that in there.
Hey, this is smack talking, but we love each other in a human kind of way. This is all about family, really. These Sundays to us, spend some time with your family. Go watch some football games. Feel good about your football team or feel awful about your football teams like I have for many years. And but thank you for that. So back to football.
Congratulations, Russ, on that, by the way. Have you guys talked about Tom Kennedy?
Briefly, but go ahead and bring that up, Mike.
Yeah, Tom Kennedy in practice went up at 5'10", skied over a 6'3" defender, pulled the ball down, landed bad on his shoulder, I guess it's a pretty bad injury, and the Lions immediately waived him 2 days later. Such is the life of a professional practice squad player. He made a few appearances last year and always did well, and he was a fan favorite for his grit. And it made me do some research on when a player gets waived with an injury designation. I didn't exactly know what that entailed.
Me neither.
Now, and I'll share it with your viewers now. What that means is they are out of the contract from it. They're still going to have to pay him. He's still under contract, right? But he goes to waivers. So anyone can pick Tom Kennedy up. And if he clears waivers and no one picks him up, which I expect no one will, once the injury is healed, the Lions will then have to do something with him. So he's still going to get paid. He's not out in the cold. He is on waivers, though. So he goes out, and all 31 teams get a chance to pick him up with the injury. And then he can go back to the practice squad. And once the injury heals, if he goes on injured reserve, however, that will end his season. And
So is that why they signed that USFL receiver recently?
That's exactly why, so that they could fill Tom Kennedy's roster spot and keep the competition in the wide receiver room going. The only thing I don't like about it is his last name is Quinn. So, and I found out that his wife's name is Patricia. So I really don't like this guy already.
Patty Quinn.
Oh, wow. That is, I don't like that either. My gosh, that's awful. Patricia Quinn, is that really his name?
That's
his wife's name.
Oh,
his name is Trey.
Okay, Trey Quinn and his wife, Patricia Quinn. Oh my gosh. Now, and going to the Tom, in all seriousness, going to the Tom Kennedy thing, if you're a Lion fan out there, if you're worried about losing Tom Kennedy, like I said, I don't think that the 31 teams are going to be lining up to use their waiver claim on Tom Kennedy, because most people outside of Allen Park have no idea who this guy is. How about, do you know who he is, Woody?
They know it. Well, they know him in Chicago because he converted that big third down last year on Soldier Field.
Yeah.
That guy. And I don't think that A-Dub or Van Ness. Do you know who Tom Kennedy is? Either one of you two?
No, I'm not familiar with that name.
Right.
Related to John F. Kennedy or something?
Yeah, exactly. So this is what I love about NFC North Talk is, like, when we're all on here together, it's like we keep each other from the homerness, right? Because, like, oh yeah, you guys got to worry about Tom Kennedy. What? Who? Like, no, nobody's worried about him. There are guys that are JAGs, which is the acronym for just a guy. And we have every team has some JAGs on there, right? And Tom Kennedy is one of our JAGs, and he knows the playbook. I mean, he's a really good wide receiver to do everything that he needs to do. He just wasn't gifted with the God-given ability of being like really fast or whatever. He just works hard and made it on a roster, which is true for a lot of just hardworking guys through the NFL that don't have high-end, quote-unquote, talent, right?
You know, another thing about Tom Kennedy, it's been 3 years, and he continues to hang around and continues to make the teams, and he never quits. And that's why this city and these fans love Tom Kennedy, because he kind of embodies that working class, that try-hard, blue-collar thing. And honestly, I don't think the Tom Kennedy story is over yet until I see his corpse laying in a coffin. I won't believe it's over for this guy.
You like that?
You got a 3 on that one. That was good. I like that.
See, I was more worried about Raymond. He's a speedster.
Yeah, they all be fast. But go ahead, Steven.
My girlfriend thought that you was Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Who? Kennedy?
No, you, Russell.
I was Flea?
Yeah, she goes, is that Flea from? I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my
Chili
gosh,
Peppers?
that's hilarious. Wait,
Good God.
I got to give it to your mama.
Oh my. Oh, that's one of the bands I hate too, man. Good God.
I always thought you looked like the singer for Midnight Oil.
Yeah.
Hey, I get quoted on
Or
that.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Charm you with a smile. But Billy Corgan sounds like Cartman singing songs right there.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Bear Down Mike says LaFleur should be on the hot seat if Jordan Love is not the guy.
Ooh,
Oh my God.
not this year.
Go.
Why LaFleur didn't draft him?
No? So you don't think he would be on the hot seat if Jordan Love is out?
No, I don't think LaFleur didn't draft Jordan Love.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Well, let's double back on this. Let's put this in a different way. LaFleur should be on the hot seat if Green Bay has a horrible season this year.
No way.
So you guys are still in on LaFleur. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think even if the Packers have a bad season, I see LaFleur. He's not on the hot seat this year. No way.
Well, let's send that one around. How about you, Steven?
No.
Okay, so
I think
A-Dub,
more so. It's more so. I say it's more so people under him could be on the hot seat. Like one of the guys for certain that is Joe Barry. Like
exactly.
Like if Joe Barry's defense doesn't pan out the way it should this year, like if we don't have a good showing from them, then Joe Barry needs to go. And the thing is, if LaFleur doesn't let him go, he'll be out the door with him.
I like that. That's a real good take.
You like that?
I'll give you 3 on that. How about you, Steven? I can see you trying to chime in right there. Go ahead.
Yeah. I agree with A-Dub. If it ain't going to be LaFleur's fine. Everything's going to be Joe Barry is now the one on the hot seat. Now
right.
I know what was it? I think so many years ago before Joe Barry, they was wanting to bring in the guy from Wisconsin, Jim Leonard. I think it was, and I think he
Darryl
could be. No, it was Jim Leonard. It was Jim Leonard, but I can't remember what happened. But I think if this doesn't pan out like A-Dub was saying, and the defense falters with the talent we have on that team, I think Joe Barry's gone, and I think I ain't going to say it's going to be Jim Leonard. I mean, I can see him being one of the guys looked at, but I think this Joe Barry is the guy who's on the hot seat. Come on, the talent
right there?
that's on that defense we got. My God.
Right on. Hey, main event, Mike. What is your take on this?
Well, I mean, my question for the Packer fans is, what if Joe Barry's defense plays great? What if they finish in the top 10 and Joe Barry does a great job? He has some injuries and he still pulls off a really good defense, but their offense stinks because their quarterback's essentially a rookie who's older than his receivers.
Then OC goes.
I mean, certainly Matt LaFleur, I agree, would not be on the hot seat if they have a bad season. He would get another season. But if that season then turns out bad, the Packers have to – believe me, that fan base is not going to tolerate losing for more than a couple of years before they're going to start making sweeping changes. But if Joe Barry has a good year as a defensive coordinator, I mean, I don't see how you could get rid of him. Maybe it starts at the top. Maybe they clean house if they have 2 bad years and fire everyone.
I like that take. You like that? And Joe Barry, that can't be stressed enough with all them first-round draft picks. But it is a pecking order. So once Joe Barry would be gone, then LaFleur would probably that wit goes up. I do wanted to acknowledge right here, Jason MC. There is a Viking fan that is in the comments. They came out of witless protection, and at least they're in the comments. I know that you're still out there somewhere, Viking fan.
No,
Fucking witless.
That's Jordan Addison's Uber driver.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, stop taking my lines, will you?
That was fantastic right there. Well, what I want to do is I want to give main event Mike some love right here, because
we all love him.
Main event Mike has a a band called the 99 with some fantastic hard rock and roll music, and I want to find where this is, and I am going to put it into the comments right here, and I'm not going to look up at the screen. But Mike, go ahead and ask everybody a question while I find your music.
Okay. My question is for the Packers owners. Does that piece of paper being an NFL owner get you any real privileges?
Sorry, I couldn't answer that. I couldn't answer that for you, Noah, because I never signed anything for that.
Hey, I never signed nothing.
Oh man.
Am I get? Oh my gosh!
I got to leave it open ended here for all the non-Packer fans. We're going to put a meme out on the main event. It's called "Saying that Packer fans are NFL owners is like saying blank." Finish the sentence for us. Put it in the comments. Give us some good stuff to use on Monday nights. Saying that Packer fans are NFL owners is like saying blank. And that's your homework for today, viewers. Put something in the comments that we can run with.
And right there, Mike, and right there is a great place because we are up against it right here. Because here we are in this spot, and unless you have, if anybody else has any question you want to throw out there before I let everybody go, because I did just throw the 99's full album into the comments, and it's free. So you can download Mike's album for free, and it's got 13 hard rock songs on there that will melt your face off. So you could do that. But is there anybody else that has any questions before we let
Is it 80s rock?
No.
No, no Cinderella? Jesus Christ.
No, this is a new album.
Have it up there.
I'm the music master.
Oh, man.
I want to say, Russell, my bro, one thing I'm going to say to you. Week 4, my Irish plays your Buckeyes. I'm coming after you.
Oh, God. Irish doesn't have a chance.
Oh, my gosh. Well, the Buckeyes got to figure out who their new quarterback is. So, I mean, I would say that this would be the year if you want to get an upset over the Buckeyes, this would be the year because we are in flux. A lot of the seniors, and you have that year of transfer. Unless a brand new rookie quarterback, the brand new guy steps up and is good, then it could be a off season, which makes me worried about these damn Wolverines coming in because I don't know how we're gonna beat them this year.
And it's great because Alabama's in the same boat.
Alabama's in the same boat. Yep.
What a coincidence that week 4, that's also the week that the Lions go into Lambeau to win.
I like that.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
So with that being said right here, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. I'm going to go around the horn right here. I think that Woody, you're the only one that has a show on the panel. So why don't you go ahead and plug your show?
Come and join us on the panel. Mike the Bear Fan, Mr. Ken Doby, and I. We do during the season Wednesday 7:30 Central Standard Time, Sunday 11:30 Central Time AM right before kickoff. But right now until the season we're only doing Sundays at 11:30 Central Standard Time. Come join us.
Nice. And then there's Bill the Packer Fan right here. They're actually running the Frozen Tundra podcast tonight. So if you want to jump on there, they do allow the other fan bases on there too. So you can go on there. They may make fun of you a little bit, but it's not as trash talky as what Mike, main event Mike's about ready to talk about right now on our Monday nights. Go ahead, Mike.
That's right. Monday night, NFC North open mic trash talk session. Bring your thick skin and leave your feelings at the door. 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's Eastern time, 7 p.m. every Monday night, NFC North open mic.
So Thank you to the Detroit Lion News for allowing us to broadcast in their spot. Please go over and like the Detroit Lions Villain Squad and follow our page. And if you're a Viking fan, then sorry about your luck. I ain't got anything for you other than a little bit of trash talk.
What's the name of his band again?
But it is the 99, and the link is in the comments of all the places that we're broadcasting right now, so you can listen to and download his entire album for free. So from Russell Wayne, and we got Steven, we got Woody, we got A-Dub on here. God bless each and every one of you. This is a weekly thing right here. Every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central Time, we do this thing. Russell Wayne in the phone sessions, NFC North. God bless you guys. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Peace.
Yeah.